4, 5, 6.
Hey.
Yeah. What's up, Andy? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Excited for this.
Oh man, me too. That was a long weekend.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I think everyone on the call is really pumped too. I have just a ton of really just great applicants, great copywriters, and I think a bunch of people who are really fired up. So it's gonna be awesome.
Well, I don't doubt that at all. Everybody, let's see, how do I get this? There we go. Right on. Well, first off, my name is Andy. I'm the founder of Alitura Naturals. Man, where do I start? First off, thank you everybody for, we're now teammates. This is so cool to me. I've experienced how powerful copywriting is for our brand. Writing email copy, writing descriptions, writing everything for the brand. It is my baby. So like from the beginning up until just mid-April, as I was mentioning to Stefan, I'd been doing all of our copy, emails, descriptions. I'd run it by, I'd test it out to, with our Facebook following and customers and just say, hey guys, because some of them are copywriters and they'd offer to help me. But I'm like, it's just, man, something that I don't have a problem passing it on, but it's really fun to me. So, and just, I've always liked reading English, all that writing. So that's why I would do it. And I just know the intricacies of what is in our products. So that's, I feel like I have the best chance to explain it. But up until, like I said, mid-April, I started working with copywriters in a group that Steph and I are both a part of. And wow, it's mind blowing. So it's an asset, and I'm just as excited to be here working with, just total pros like yourself. So very grateful for that. And Steph, this is just what I've always wanted to do, is just shine light on something that means so much to me, my family, and just my overall just mission to help people. This is so long story short, let's see. I'll take it back. Stefan, did you want me to just kind of tell the story about, because it's really personal to me. This is very different maybe than from some brands that you worked with. This is just sharing a piece of my heart. There's a big, big passion and interest of trial and error. There's a long, long story that's hopefully going to give a lot of content, but I'm going to tighten it up. I tend to get a little wordy, and I'll try to pull that back if that starts to happen. But so Stefan, did you kind of want me to just go, because everything from why I'm interested in skincare and where that all started?
Yeah, okay. The way I want to do this, Andy, is exactly that. I want to do kind of the origin story, right? Like what happened, what set you on this journey, what happened once you were set on this journey as you were looking at, creating your first product, right, which was the clay mask, and the story of what you did there. I want to and then from there we'll cover the clay mask first, and we'll talk about that, what's in it, why does it help, why, everything that we can share. And from there we'll go on to the the facial system, and we'll talk about everything that's in there as well. So that's kind of the structure. And I may interrupt you to ask questions. I'm going to mostly let you talk. And then at the end, I'll definitely ask questions for sure.
Absolutely. So, okay. Well, I was born in, Northern California, and then moved to Palo Alto, where I've been an athlete my entire life. And I got a baseball scholarship to UC Berkeley, and was really excited. And that's the reason why I bring that up, is because that's when I became passionate about ingredients. I was very thin. I was 6'2" and a half. 168 pounds going to Cal, and at the Pac-10 at the time, now it's Pac-12, which is their conference, the athletic conference. It's just, I wanted to put on weight and fill out my frame to be competing with other Pac-10 outfielders on the team for playing time. And so I wanted to put on weight. And so that's when I just got really passionate about, things, just taking it, reading labels, the grab and turn philosophy, protein, calories, fat, just in an attempt to put on weight, put on muscle, just like the other guys on the team. And so I did that, and I saw results, but in doing and using things, I was just eating the wrong things. So I was, my back, I got really bad back acne. And so it's just, that's crippling. So that's my first experience with what it does to you. The first thing you see in the morning when you look in the mirror and you see something, it sets a tone for your day in a negative way. I've experienced that, and it bugs me. Matter of fact, I would get little cystic acne on my face, but the cystic are like the sores, don't turn into whiteheads and don't turn into infections that you can eventually remove. But I mean, the ones that are there for like a week or 2 weeks, I don't know if any of you can relate, they're frustrating. So and then also I had that on my back. And so like for my whole freshman year, I would change with my back to my locker. And that's a long time. And it's, when you're growing in your body at 18 and 19 years old, it's just, man, it can be like I said, crippling to some people. And so I wanted to find out a way to beat that thing. So that's why I'm just really, that's my ingredient source. What I would do is, I went from Clearasil to Neutrogena body wash, just loaded in 30, 40 chemicals that are all, not all, but many government recognized carcinogen, synthetic toxic ingredients. And luckily they have a list now, and they have, just things to watch out for. They have Think Dirty app where you can scan the UPC code and rate cleanliness 0 to 10 on the product, and they're getting better with it. And it's actually, when I first started this, there were so many holes in products. I'd be like, God, this would be so good if it didn't have glycerin, phenoxyethanol, potassium sorbate, you name it, sodium benzoate, preservatives, fragrance, fillers, emulsifying agents that don't serve the skin. But I wasn't that passionate. So let me go back to freshman year at Cal. And so that's when I went from Neutrogena to, say, Dove. Dove had 5 ingredients. One of them was coconut derived. And then I found better results. I'm like, oh man, this natural route is kind of cool. And it became a creative outlet for me back then, even though I was I didn't think that at the time that I was interested in it, but it made me feel good. And so it was something that I look forward to doing, because I was seeing results. So basically switching over from just a diluted ingredient deck with just that smells great and foams up, has foaming agents, sodium lauryl sulfate, to just Dove soap on my face and my body. And it was a smaller ingredient deck. And so just year over year, I became more passionate about, my first apricot scrub, and then facial scrub, and just little things to just make me feel good. I really strongly believe that you feel good about yourself before you leave the door. Before you leave the house in the morning or in the afternoon, wherever it is, and you just create that ripple effect for everybody you meet. It's just you bring the best self in every personal, professional interaction, and that's something I can control. So it became like my little routine, and I kind of hid it, obviously, because of around teammates, they would have really given me a hard time with that. But and then so just year over year, I became more passionate with that. And then so after baseball. Didn't work out. Had a great career. There were some things that I had a strong opinion. I was a little bit of a hothead off the field, but on the field too. Anyway, it humbled me. And so I had a draft party, wasn't drafted. Didn't know what to do with my life. Moved down to Los Angeles because I was working at Abercrombie during the summers. You remember Abercrombie and Fitch?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so they transferred me down to the LA store, and I lived on a friend's couch, and just kind of started just being in LA. I didn't know what I was going to do. A roommate of mine was an actor, and so I would run lines with him. And so run lines means just, I'd be a character opposite him, and I'd kind of just feed him lines. And he was auditioning for a lead in a baseball-related film. And keep in mind, I just came out from baseball. And I was, I was just fresh in the game. So I was critiquing, fresh from the game. So I was critiquing certain, little nuances and tendencies. He hadn't played since Little League. And, a lot of actors tend to, flub a little bit on their experience. And so I was nailing his roles better than he was. Or lines better than he was. And just because you don't care sometimes. You just, you're a little bit more receptive and carefree, and you're not overthinking it. So you're nailing some things, and this never happens. But he reached out to the director. I didn't have representation at the time. He got me a read for that role, and I ended up, long story short, callback, screen test. I ended up booking that, and then got representation all within a month of moving down to LA without.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a lead in a feature film. We shot for a month and a half, and it was like I was back playing again. It was a trip. Matter of fact, right after that, in the fall, it got me hungry again to go back and play baseball. But also, what that did is it got me back into my career. Not got me back in my career, but that led into 2006 to. I'm still technically in it, but a 5-6 year career through that depression, slight economic depression in the industry, where the SAG strike, after strike were, it was just, there was no work, but I was still working through that. And so I had a good good career going. I mean, I ran or walked walked the runway for Calvin Klein. Did shoots for campaigns, global campaigns for Coppertone, Levi's, Oakley, Michelob Ultra. I mean, so I worked a lot. I mean, it was my I mean, it's how I'm paid my bills, and it's my livelihood, and it was exciting to me. And so the reason why I point that out is, I mean, when that accident happened, I mean, I was just crossing the street and I got hit by a westbound heading vehicle, and then lost consciousness, and then flipped as a pedestrian, and then flipped into the eastbound lane, and then got run over by another Toyota Tundra. And you should see the report. So I actually still have the reports.
So yeah, I want to because of that, the accident, obviously is a crazy and dramatic moment in your life, and from a copyright perspective, and as like, for us as storytellers and wanting to captivate, the attention of, the audience. I mean, I think that's where a lot of the writers will probably start, right, with the story of like what happened, right, yeah. And then walk back, because it's crazy. So I want to know two things. A, was that Topo Chico you were just drinking?
Yeah.
Too carbonated for me. I'm more like, I like any of my LaCroix, but it's okay. Agree to disagree on that one.
It's got this little bite. I know, I hear you.
That's funny. I just got one the other day and I was like, yeah, it's too carbonated. But so like when did the accident happen? And then, let's really like set the frame for that. So you're modeling, you're acting, like life is pretty good. And then suddenly everything kind of gets flipped upside down, right? Like, I mean, everything changes, right? So I want to kind of let you really go into that part, because I think that's important.
Yeah, I mean, so it was, there's already enough emotion going into that industry with the, you don't get any feedback, you don't get any, you lose a role to a guy just because of your eye color, your height, hair color, things like that. And so, I mean, but they don't ever give you feedback on how to improve. And that was frustrating. So like, there's a lot of emotional up and down. And so I was just that's how I was at the time. I didn't have anything under my control. And then, I was approaching 30 years old, and I was underachieving, I felt, in life. And I mean, acting, I always believed that I was going to be, act for the rest of my life and be eventually one day be big, but who really knows? So there's that mentally upstairs of like the unknown. And then that accident happened. So, I mean, I'm just waking up in a Cedars-Sinai ICU bed. And after that, I mean, because I don't remember any of the ride over. There are bits and pieces from the ride over, but I mean, I had my jeans cut off me in the middle of Melrose on a Saturday night. I kept the jeans, by the way. They were bright orange, and I lost them in my move. I wanted to keep, I know it's kind of close, but I just wanted, I mean, I keep subtle reminders of that all around my house. I have obviously I told you the report. I still have little Ensure bottles from around. I have the sign that my sister made for people coming to visit me outside the door because we couldn't have guests anymore. So anyway, I'll go back. I mean, I remember just right there in the middle of the street on Melrose, and just, you're out of it. And then when finally you wake up in a Cedars-Sinai ICU bed with a morphine drip, and a couple of my friends were just, Nick and Bobby were just, and they heard like some mumbling or some, stirring around or whatever. And they look up, and I'm like, I thought everything was kind of I was like, when you're on a morphine drip, I don't know if I hope nobody ever has to be on one, but it's just, you think everything's a joke and everything's giddy and happy-go-lucky, and that because I wasn't supposed to be talking, because they wanted to piece together the fragments of my jaw back together. I had a compound fracture. So compound fracture means it's poking through the bottom of my mouth. Like still, it's all messed. I mean, I'm still dealing with it. It's okay though. But from the middle of my chin to just beneath the left of my ear, was just in fragments, and particles. I mean, I had a titanium plate up top, one on the bottom, but Dr. Rosenberg from Cedars-Sinai ICU came in from Newport Beach. Obviously, it was in the middle of the night, and it was the worst mandible fracture he'd ever seen. He's a maxillofacial surgeon at Cedars-Sinai, huge hospital. So we couldn't do it. He advised that we wouldn't find a specialist to do the job. Luckily, my mom worked at Stanford Children's Hospital, so she had a little connection with Dr. Schindel, who had his understudy. He's like one of the mandible maxillofacial experts. And so one of his students at Stanford was actually practicing down in Beverly Hills. So my mom had a cool little connection with Dr. Joseph Brugiardi, bless his heart, who put me back together. And it was, but it was a long, long road to recovery. I'm still, I just deal with being uncomfortable. I deal with being, not me. It's not about looking. It's not about feeling. I don't look the same. It's about feeling. It's about constantly throughout your day dealing with something that is uncomfortable. And I'm not, you trick your mind a little bit, but it's always there. But I don't complain. I'm alive. Trust me. And the reason.
Go ahead, Ed. Well, I don't want to cut you off. I'll let you finish what you're going to say first.
Oh, no, it's okay. But what set the tone for that was, leaving. Man, there was so much love. Now that I think, it's just, we had all my family together in one room for the first time. My sisters drove down from Arcata, Humboldt County, California. They had to take off work. They didn't, my brother had to take off work, drove down. My mom and dad drove down. Can you imagine that 6-hour from the Bay Area? Yeah. And my mom just inches her way in and carrying my little headshot of me acting. And it was just like, I'll never forget that. But, it was tough. But then when everybody's around and we were never around each other in my little dingy 700 square foot North Hollywood apartment. And we're all just there. Pizza. Obviously I couldn't chew. My jaw was wired shut. All these teeth are fake. My front two, and then one to the left was, they were nubs. So, just getting your jaw wired shut. And then, just not aside from the physical thing, physical appearance or whatever, my jaw was way, out to here, about an inch. This was a railroad chop job, meaning like railroad track chop job, meaning there was a lot of, Joseph Brugiardi was really, my surgeon who put me back together, he was disappointed with that because apparently it was just an emergency room job to, stitch back my flesh together. And apparently it could have been better. I'm definitely not complaining, but it speaks to either the product or genetics or how I was eating or something, because it doesn't, people are like, oh, well, you look fine. I'm like, you have no idea the work that I put into it. It did not look fine. And I don't know if anybody's seen the before and afters. Luckily, a friend of mine got one, but it's just the biggest.
Andy, let me ask you though, because I want to I want to be able to paint that, or for the writers to be able to paint that picture of like, so it's like late at night, it's 2 a.m. Were you leaving like a bar and you were just walking across Melrose? Like, I hope if it's too traumatic to count it, then okay. I just want to really paint so you're walking, one car hits you, you flip into another lane and get run over. And I want you to kind of, what was happening? Like, what were you I know you don't remember kind of after you got, hit, but like.
It was something we would do. It's a long week. We just had some dinner at a restaurant across, actually at the house. I was going to meet up with a friend at the place I'm at right now, ironically enough. And so I was just going across the street. It's one of those, dimly lit, it's kind of, people create their own crosswalks. It's not a full on crosswalk, but I just left this establishment on Melrose and then started to walk. And then I have a horrible habit of just kind of adjusting to traffic, kind of like, I don't know if everybody's been to New York, but it's from New York here, but it's just kind of, people kind of jut out a little bit. But the thing is, where I messed up was I looked down and just kept, and then boom, I got rocked. And then, it's just, I had 7 broken ribs, a collapsed lung. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, that was really hard, because when you sneeze with collapsed lung, that's the worst pain I've ever felt, for sure. But yeah, it was, it was tough, but at the same time, it was like this giddy excitement for still being alive. People don't survive those accidents. It was, in half inch, quarter inch here and there. Who knows? I don't even, but, it's just when, one of my nurses was an ex-Marine, and he was like, hey, any day you get to walk out of the hospital, it's a pretty good day, right? He's like, best of luck to you in your recovery. And I was like, damn, it really, because I didn't have any knee damage, any ankles. And I was pretty active at the time. Elbows were fine. So I started, seeing if I could, jog around my little place, not jog around, but just seeing movement. Because I knew I wanted to hurry and get back on my feet. It was just, I'm one of those, I just got to keep going. So sitting around and just waiting to go back to bed and, to take your medicine and pass out. And then, part of the recovery process was so hard for me to do.
Right.
And so I just, yeah, I mean, it was just, my sisters and family had to go back to work, and brother, yeah, mom, dad, and everybody had to go back to work. And so it was just me there. And it was okay though, man. I wasn't like wallowing at all. I was trying to figure out a way to just, stay active. I didn't really want to leave the house. I mean, I'm telling you, it was really, uncomfortable thing to get to talk to people who had just seen you a week before. And then now your jaw's wired shut and you just completely look deformed and you're a little banged up. So I didn't, held back a little bit on my trips to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods to the checkers that are trying so hard not to look down at your jaw from your eye contact. It's kind of like one of those things where it's just, it was definitely an eyesore, but it's something, extremely humbling, and not that I wasn't humble before, but it was the biggest thing that I would say from that is when you're like a moment where you want to laugh or smile, or you're happy or just elated, and you're like mitigating it because you don't want to smile because you don't have teeth. And like, I severed a nerve right here, the mental nerve, which communicates, muscle function to the side of my face from my brain. And they reattached it, but I still don't, I mean, I don't feel this area of my side of my face. And I don't really think about it that much anymore. But at the time when it was fresh, I'd smile and only the side of my face would show up right here. And, it's just, it's very tough. Aside from what I'd done for work, it was just, it was frustrating. So I used, that as fuel to get back on my feet and really a big part of it was just getting my family to see their brother again, their son again, just the same way they were before. I'm serious. I'm very close to my family. And that really broke my heart right there to have my mom, like, kind of just, I could tell that she was very sad. And yeah. So, I mean, it was, it was tough, but I mean, seriously, I just went, I started to write down ideas. I had been into skincare, obviously, as I mentioned before, which leads to just an overall interest. And now there's a sense of urgency, obviously. The whole necessity is the mother of invention. I had used a one ingredient clay mask before. It was just calcium bentonite clay. It was ancient. What is it? It's that desert, what is it? It's just one ingredient, calcium bentonite clay. I can't believe I'm not thinking of it right now. But anyway, so what I did off that is I would isolate and find that ingredient, and I would test it out, particle size wise, and just activity. I would spot treat different parts, different areas, different parts of my face, different areas of my body. Seriously, it may sound obsessive, but it was something that I loved. I still love to do as far as finding ingredients and finding new clays that aren't so commonly used, like that you see out there aside from bentonite. And so that's where basically what I did is I started buying in bulk from a very good website, or a very good source called Green Desert Clay. Jason Eaton, he kind of took me under his wing because he could tell I was so interested in this stuff, because I told him about my accident. So he gave me different, I just picked his brain. I mean, he's obviously very passionate about the stuff. He's written books on it. The electromagnetic properties of clay, detox protocols, military detox protocols for moving heavy metals, and just overall health, skin health. I mean, it's just an added bonus to that. And then also he would tell me about other ingredients like rasul clay, kaolin clay, iolite clay, and then obviously I had bentonite to begin with. And so it was, I mean, I had nothing but time. I wasn't going to sit around. And like I said, when I do say I was spot treating certain areas, I was, because I wanted to be able to notice or just test and see a noticeable difference. And it's very tough with the same ingredient, but I know, I just know, I just have a feeling. It's a total feel thing with me as far as sensing activity for skin ever since I can remember.
So Andy, let me ask you a question there. So like because you've always been interested in skincare and ingredients and, things like that. And then post-accident, when you're kind of getting the bentonite clay, what's going through your head? Is it like just, is there scarring and you're like hoping the scarring is going to go away? Is it just like that you're like, bored and have time? Is it like, what is your hope as you're getting the bentonite clay? Like what's going through your head that's making you so, kind of excited to be and motivated and driven?
I would only do that mask the Sunday night before the accident. Sunday night, I would do this mask of the calcium bentonite clay. And then after the accident, it was like it would set the tone for the week. It sticks around for at least a day or two. And so, like, say if I had an audition Monday or Tuesday, I just knew what I was going to bring to the table. You want to look like your pictures, and so you really want to, your best self to every audition. And so I knew I had that in my back pocket. And so I knew that I was going to the circulation it brings to the surface of the skin is absolutely unbelievable. So bentonite, it's just the blood flow. And also subtly exfoliates and then reintroduces minerals that are lost as we age. And so, and that's just one clay. And so over time, adding Rasul, Eyelight, Kaolin, which has like a mild, they all work very well together as far as like just like a mild like skin bleaching effect to it, as does Pearl. As far as just creating that even smooth skin tone, that was something that I became very just aware of by studying spa treatments, by just trial and error, sourcing ingredients, and then ordering certain 5-6 ounces. A lot of things were so cheap, clays especially, that I could afford to do that. But then again, when I started to turn up the formula and experiment with certain things like pearl powder, grass-fed colostrum, those were just because it was very expensive and I didn't want to waste it, but I was taking them internally. And then, with your skin being your largest organ, I just felt like it would help. And luckily, obviously I had to experiment with the amounts, and that was just the fun part of it for me, because I never had an intention to ever make this a product. This was just purely trying to accelerate the healing as quickly as I could. And it was really fun for me because I was seeing results very quickly. Within a couple of weeks, I was, the abrasions were gone. The swelling had gone down a little bit. Obviously the scarring wasn't gone, but the same people who saw me in the ICU, Christina Rodriguez, I remember I dropped her off I picked her up at the airport, and she was blown away. And so that was pretty cool just to get like a legitimate double take. Yeah. And she was the first person that I started testing with and going forward with as my she's like, what are you doing? No, what are you doing? Like one of those type of things. And so what guy wants to admit that they're making a little clay mask out of their apartment? But I was like, all right, here we go. And I became like the mask guy. So Friends, she's a dancer. It's like, she would introduce me to friends and friends of friends. So I'd be driving around Los Angeles with a little backpack to houses in apartments I didn't even know. And I would just introduce myself with a little bottle of apple cider vinegar, lavender, clary sage, sea buckthorn, sweet orange oil, and then explaining the ingredients and how like the essential oils kind of mitigate the aroma and the scent of the mask. But then all I would ask for is feedback, and then maybe for them to take a picture. This was 2000, probably 12-ish, where I started to feel comfortable with doing that and driving around and with an actual product. But a long time, I'm kind of skipping over a part of sourcing ingredients. But that's so I'll go back to that. As far as with the pearl powder, the American ginseng, the vitamin C, and then the first 6 hour milking grass-fed colostrum, those were all it was all my formula based on research, but those were the ones, those 4 right there were I had never seen used in skincare. Vitamin C I had, pearl powder I had, American ginseng definitely not, and grass-fed colostrum for sure not.
Right.
And so these were just, I just felt that the activity, the whole process of bringing circulation and blood flow to the surface of the skin while lightly exfoliating that area, and then feeding and reintroducing really good minerals, nutrients, and compounds of collagen, like with the vitamin C, and then also the first 6 hour milking grass-fed colostrum, which is loaded in IGF-1 growth factor content, especially when you get it collected within the first 6 hours. It's still rich in enzymes and live. I just felt that it was going to create the best chance to win for that skin and recover quickest. And it definitely did. The pearl powder loaded, in superoxide dismutase, which I just found out, loaded in calcium, has a mild bleaching effect as well, to the point where there are stories, of geishas using it to just create a nice, smooth, almost ivory, like pale skin tone, to signify that they haven't been out in the fields collecting rice and things of that nature. And so it was like a hierarchy had a hierarchy appeal to it in that culture for just having like a mild skin tone. So I was just, it was helping with not only fading up just discoloration on my skin, but it was just reintroducing really good antioxidant capacity too. And this is just pearl powder. That's one ingredient. American ginseng. I mean, it was like a superfood meal for my skin. Being our largest organ, we have to feed it and treat it just like it's another mouth. And I mean, I've always been that way. Well, not always, but I mean, I would just try to remove some of anything in there that I didn't know what that ingredient was. And whether that's the harsh preservatives, the foaming agents, fragrance is a huge culprit, alcohols, and then we get into things like parabens, stearates. I mean, it's shocking what people feel okay with putting in their products. It really is shocking to me. And so that's where we go. We really do go to a different level, to the point where I've had CEOs of other physical product companies coming up to me at conferences and going, "It's a water-based product." And I'm like, how do you preserve it? I mean, didn't really appreciate that, but I mean, I want to eat fresh food. I want fresh live enzymes in my product. These bees are collecting the propolis, the pollen, the honey, beeswax, royal jelly. That is not cooked. I've been there twice. I mean, they're like family to me, but I mean, as far as my just putting on the bee suit and just collecting, scraping off the honey from the comb, it's the most beautiful enzyme rich. It's still scientists are finding out more and more and more what bee products are capable of. And I really felt like I was going to heal quickest through things like Manuka honey, and then just creating a little paste post mask, and because I wanted to moisturize and really hit that area that was just flush with circulation. Now you want to reintroduce really good ingredients through moisture to repair and heal the skin after such an intense experience with the mask. And so that's where we went to work on the second product, which is our night cream. But that came out of a cast iron pan. But yeah, I mean, everything with the mask, I didn't have much space. And so I moved everything out of my bedroom into my living room, and then just when we started, I wouldn't say scale up, but I mean, I would make batches of it. And that's where I stored everything. And it was just my little lab. I have so much content, by the way, just for videos, pictures, if anybody needs those for their research or for their story.
I think we can share that. Do you have is it like a Dropbox or Google Drive, or do you have anywhere kind of unified or somewhere where people can go view some of that content?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. That'd be great.
Yeah. And then, that was fine. It was my little thing. The whole idea was to get back into the entertainment industry and just get back on my feet again and do something that people told me I wouldn't do. I don't know if you want to go in a motivational factor or in this, but I'll just tell you guys that I don't like, I'm sure you guys don't like it either, when people tell you assume that you're not going to be able to do something, or because of limitations that they may, have in their head for me. So I just, I heard that a lot. Hey, were you going to sue the city? Hey, are you going to, you're going to get any money out of this? You're never going to act and model again. I just kept that to myself and used that as motivation to absolutely prove them wrong. So, didn't sue the city, and it was my fault. And so that'd be the wrong thing to do. And I can't stand it when people ask if I got money for that. But it was just very motivating to me just to get back, and I felt good again. And so if anybody, it was my own little kind of secret, but I started drinking coffee for the first time, and it was bulletproof coffee. You guys ever heard of Dave Asprey from Bulletproof? It's like the butter coffee. Okay. And so it talk about rocket fuel, like that really helped me in my recovery, getting out of bed, drinking coffee for the first time. And because I was a health freak, I thought it was, bad for you, but I definitely got, that proved that theory wrong, because it was something that I looked forward to. Even the night before, I was like, man, I get to wake up tomorrow and have bulletproof. And so I just, you're not going to believe it, but I wanted to work for Bulletproof. And so I was like, all right, well, if you send something to back then it was Bulletproof Exec on the contact form with the website. So it was like info@bulletproof-exec. And so, Dave Asprey, so I copy pasted the same email with the before picture of me in the ICU, and then an after picture of like some modeling gigs I did, like Men's Health. And it was, I did like D.Asprey at Bulletproof Exec, David at Bulletproof Exec, Asprey.Dave. I mean, probably 10 different combinations. And one of them went through. He got back to me. He CC'd his ambassador manager at the time. I think it was Jackie. And they brought me on board as a Bulletproof ambassador. I really wanted to, I was just trying to get a job there. But so they just, they gave me product and told me to take pictures monthly. And I was already doing that as it is. So it was pretty cool. Just,
That's
just
awesome.
free product. So it was like a little victory for me. You know what I mean? Like about a little over a year later a couple of years later to have that and be like just an ambassador. Wow. Like this is, those little things I needed at that time. Just because it gives you that sense that you're back, back
Right.
to, and so a few months after that, it was probably like September 2013. Jackie reaches out and goes, "Hey, Dave would like to have you on Bulletproof Radio." And at that time, luckily, I didn't know how big it was. And I was like, "What's that?" And he was just like, she told me, "Oh, it's his podcast." Yeah, no, it's great. Great. Can't wait to share your story. And it was just mostly, it was, man, I was like a complete blackout moment just across from someone I idolize. I mean, I'm still to this day, he's the only reason why we're here. I'm very aware of that. But he's an incredible person. He really is. He cares. And, but anyway, so sitting across from Malibu, I was just like, oh man, I was so nervous. It's just, we hit it off and start going back and forth and like just little remedies I would use internally to heal and from supplements and obviously bulletproof products. Cause the focus was going to be on what bulletproof products I was using to in my recovery. And then the last 5-10 minutes, as I said to you in the email, we just kind of talked about skin and I was like, oh no, like going into that, I kind of got an idea that there was going to be like a large, it's going to go out to a big, a lot of people. And so luckily I shared my little secret about, creating this mask. I really didn't want it, but it was kind of on the spot. And then I just kind of started flowing on the ingredients and why I used what I used. And you can even hear him say, he's like, wow, you didn't even mention this. You didn't even know anything I didn't know that this product was commercially available. And I'm like, oh, it's definitely, I didn't have anything set up. Website was under construction, definitely wasn't. And so, I was just at that point, when that aired, February 1st, 2014, that was one of the best, most exhilarating moments of my life. Because once that aired, it was like a whole fresh, because I gave out my personal email address and because I didn't have it. So people were contacting. I have to go back and just, and respond to, because people were saying really nice things, but also they wanted to know where they could try or buy the product. And so I obviously placed another big order. And packaging, what do I do for packaging? So I went over to dollar stores and the little mason jars. I'm like, wow, because it's like $6, $1 each or whatever that was. I'm like, that's not gonna, that's not the best. And plus the glass too. And so I couldn't, figure out packaging and my label, and I had to come up with a name. At first it was Golden Glow, and that sounded like a bronzer. So we just kind of going back over time, over a few months, we came up with Alitura, which is Latin for feeding and nourishing. Your skin being your largest organ, you want to treat it like another mouth. And so we rolled with that. At first it was AlituraLifestyle.com, and then we tightened it up and went to Alitura Naturals. But the interesting part was just me driving around town to Whole Foods. I would get these little, the pints for peanut butter, honey, almond butter, with the snapshot containers. And same manager every time would always give me a hard time going, hey man, come on, we don't even sell those. I'm like, come on, please just come up with a price. 15 cents for the bottom, 15 for the top. And so I had 30-cent packaging. I'd walk away. I'd get in my car and just, drive home. And then I was like, all right. And then, FedEx, Kinko's I would go just get my labels there, Times New Roman font. And luckily I still have some of those. My instructions were, single space, just full on page. And I just really get into like I'm having a conversation with the person rather than a sentence or two. But I didn't know what I was just learning. I was just excited that somebody wanted to try something that I created. It was just my little thing. And it was just so exhilarating to me that hasn't left. And it was cool. And then the thing I was telling Stefan about on our first initial call was just, I didn't know my raw goods cost. And so you had to come up with a cost and price to people, $35 free shipping to Sweden. And it was like $23 to ship. And I was getting those pints. Our products are 8 ounces now, or 7.1. And then, but those pints, obviously you fill it up. It's got to be 12 to 14 ounces or something. And our products are very expensive to make because of the pearl, everything in there, pearl, colostrum, everything. And so I had to be taking a hit. Because 23, I'll never forget that one, especially because then it would break. Sometimes it would break in the shipment, and so you'd have to send another one. So, but I mean, who cares? You're in the moment. People want something that you created. I'm sure you guys all, just to pay something for have someone pay you for your work and just being a pro, and like somebody like really like, it's just so validating. It really is. And so, so I stayed on with that. But Dave contacted me, and he said that he's like, man, I'm really getting a large response from this. He's like, what's your week look like next week? And he flew down, and we got initial stages of negotiations with a friend of mine was with a law firm, so he kind of helped me through that. But it was just it's kind of nerve-wracking negotiating with someone you idolize. But but anyway, long story short, we partnered up, and June 26th he released. Well, actually, I don't want to speed through that at all. No. But he gave me a deadline to hit for 5,000 units of the clay mask. And I don't know if we want to include this or not, but I mean, with the process of I bought horse troughs. I was like, how am I going to mix this? So I was like, I'm going to need something. I'm just totally guesstimating because I looked through co-packers, but they were just charging so much. And I was selling to David at a certain price. It just didn't make sense. And I had deadlines to hit, and and then California radiates their clays. And so all that, and I did find one. And so, but after all that, there's, I don't know if it's because of Prop 65 or what, but they zap the formula. And so they zap the electromagnetic activity. I'm like, I just went against it. And so that's what I did. I mean, so we found a manufacturer in Nevada, luckily, after, but I didn't have time to look around because we went through all of that process, negotiating to find that co-packer, and then did it again. And so finally I said, screw it, and then did the math and ordered all the ingredients, 20-foot U-Haul. Luckily, a friend of mine just moved out of a friend of mine had an open room where I went up there. Oh man. And it was in the busiest time for modeling for Oakley at that time because down in Santa Ana, I would have to work during the day and come back and work throughout the night, just blending. But there's nothing more exciting. I'm sure, I don't know if you guys get the same feeling with your writing, but I mean, it's not work for me. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable that I even have this is what we're even doing this. And like, Dave agreed to this? What? It doesn't even make sense. And so I ordered. There's video, there's pictures, there's a ton of because I just it was just sharing it with the Facebook following, not Instagram at the time, but just because they were so encouraging. It was like my little family of support. And they, a lot of them were because I ended up doing 4 podcasts on Bulletproof. And so a lot of people, had been following the story and interested in just progress and things like that. And so I would share images and kind of things. Hey, just going to work today, guys. But and then a couple of people reached out and wanted to help. And so they would drive up with, man, yeah, that was really cool. Frank, Dan, I mean, just because when I was modeling at Oakley, they would be going up there and just helping me bottle the jars. And so we got it off just in time. They loaded it into the fulfillment center. And then June 26th, we had a podcast air that we had recorded mid bottling. We had about 10 of my closest friends in like an assembly line type format. It was the coolest thing ever. I have that on video, excuse me. And man, I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. It's just so generous that nobody would accept money. They just wanted, maybe a jar or 2 of the product. And because it's so effective. I'm so serious.
I mean, I want some of the product. I'm going to hit you with my address later, but this just sounds so good. I mean, it's just like, it's incredible, right? What year was this? And was this 2012, 13, or is this like later?
2014.
14, okay.
Yeah. So
right, okay.
2014, June 26, 2014 is when we officially launched on the Bulletproof website. And luckily people, they responded. I mean, the reviews were great. And so that kind of catapulted me And I took everything from that and started just tinkering away because everybody wanted to know how to follow up, what to follow up with. And so I started going to work with Bee product-based moisturizer. And like I mentioned earlier, I had already had the initial building blocks of my night cream from, I was melting down cacao butter, beeswax, manuka honey, putting in little drops of sea buckthorn oil, I still have that one. The original first chunky night cream, which now is our first much different looking appearing night cream, to follow up my my clay mask is like a conditioning moisturizer to heal the skin. So I mean, it's this is and so my night cream actually came after the moisturizer because it didn't really make sense to follow up clay mask with a night cream, even though, and I didn't even really think that would be a night cream, but it would. I started going to work on that and adding things like plant-derived stem cells and really putting in a lot of effort towards that after I had my base that I built out of the pan, like I had mentioned. But so that's just following that up with another product with the same intention and just the same mission of bringing food grade ingredients to our products. And we didn't use any preservatives. This is it's a powder, and so it's not a water-based product or anything. I didn't have to add any fragrance. You can customize it yourself with the clay mask, just 4 clays, and then superfood rich ingredients that just condition your skin to get that nice blood vessel constriction, puffiness, dark circles, wrinkles. I'm just I don't want anything to mess up the effort that I put into this. So I just let our customers talk. I know what it does. And I know you say, especially in the cosmetic industry, mitigating wrinkles, crow's feet. I'll let the customers talk. Even with Derma Roller and hair, regrowing hair and everything it does.
Let's talk about that. That's really, because that's really important, right? So, because I mean, I've done skincare and I've learned a bit from like FTC, what you can and can't say, right? And obviously you can't say like eliminate wrinkles or things like that, right? But you can say like stuff about helping to, help to fade away the appearance of wrinkles, things like that, which we do want to talk about, benefits in the copy, especially for long form. But I want to make sure that the writers are using language and sort of statements that you're comfortable with, right? Because if we give you a sales letter that you're like, oh my God, I would never say these things, and that's a problem. So what are the kinds of things that you are comfortable with the writers kind of saying from a claims perspective? And I guess let's start with the face mask, and then let's also do the at-home facial. And I do want to then get into the at-home facial a bit and what's in there and kind of that as well. But let's start with, just sort of what you're, because we can use all the testimonials to leverage that, but we have to say something, right? Like you can be like radiant skin, like beautiful glow, like, like dewy, like, dewy freshness. Like, so we can say that kind of stuff, but like, can we say, can we mention wrinkles? Can we mention dark spots if we're careful with the language and it's compliant? I mean, I'm curious where your head's at with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it is. And if you obviously know how to word that based on, and being compliant is huge.
Yeah.
It does so much, but I swear, as I mentioned to you, it's the most effective skincare product that I've ever used. And we hear that almost daily. I mean, we really do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of reviews, but I'll try to, what we do is people, when they come in with like chunks, like big paragraphs, we'll follow up with them and start getting little testimonials and give them a free product for that, because it's just, man, I mean, that's really the coolest thing to me is just how effective it is.
Right.
Collectively. I mean, for all skin types. I mean, we really, that's a perfect product right there. And I really mean that. I mean, I'll send it to you guys and so you can try it for yourself. But I mean, the thing is, it's just I know personally obviously I use it a lot, probably like 3, 4, sometimes even 5 times a week, but I say 1 to 3 just because we want it, we don't want people to overdo it. But I mean, you hear these 30-day mask challenges and people trying out different products. It's the more I use it, as far as from a congestion release, and then also creating blood flow to mitigate the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. I mean, and the bentonite and the clay pulling out infections naturally. I mean, the pulling action, it is like magic. Bug bites. I put it in my scalp. I mean, I swear I've had my hairline, but I mean, that's one thing. It's like nobody would believe me, but I it's probably with diet and things and other things like that and the different things I've been doing, but nothing surprises me anymore. I mean, with it, I mean, med spas are using it all around the world, and then, you know, it's gold standard, complexion perfection facial, you name it. I mean, it's just, it's a back bar treatment that is used professionally in med spas, and in combination with other products, and microneedling, and then finishing up with the gold serum, which is loaded in active ingredients. I mean, it's just one of those things that is extremely effective, just, you know, in creating your own spa experience from the comfort of your own home. And as far as, but yes, I mean, I'm definitely open to using the true, I mean, claims are before and afters. I don't know if you all have had a chance to check out some of the testimonials before and afters that we've had.
Yeah, it's great. The ones I've looked at are excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, you have a chance to do that. And it's just, that's really my why. We work with Smile Train. So that's, as I was touching on earlier with you all, that just how, like, you know, that was one of my things where part of my smile would show up and then the other one wouldn't. So we work with Smile Train, and we're getting close to 100 smiles that we've repaired. Sure, I think Kylie Jenner's, she probably has 1 million, but either way, it's like, it's pretty cool just to be giving back and having something, having purpose. And I mean, I eat, breathe, and sleep this. This is all, like, first thought in the morning, period. Last thought before I go to bed. I don't have a girlfriend. I mean, I talk to my family and stuff, but I mean, it's always what's next. It's not frustrating, maybe a little obsessed, but I love this business because of the impact we have, you know, and because of, and also the way I mean, I sleep well. I mean, I know what's in these products, and I know the reason why. I mean, I try to do things that other brands aren't doing. And a lot of the times it's costly. I mean, 93 cents of essential oils is in our Pearl Cleanser. 93 cents of our cost is organic Australian sandalwood, chamomile, jasmine. I mean, it should be a lot less than that. I don't have the big overhead. I'd rather create a home run. I'd rather be known, you know, it's like, this guy is obsessed. He will not do certain, because I know Dave Asprey was that way, and it was just, it drew me to him, you know? Yeah. So I just, you know, integrity is everything to me. And it's a lot of people are dollar signs. I'm okay with that, and to each their own. I have something, and I'm alive, and I have something that's actually really, really good. And you get a chance to impact people, and making my parents proud. Like I said, I was 30 with baseball. You pick the two hardest, and then acting. It's like you pick the two hardest, most competitive jobs, and to be. I'm like, Dad, I don't know. I kind of believe I'm going to do this. And so now to have something where I get his, respect, and he's proud of me. I'm just going to stay the course. I mean, I'm here and have something. It's beautiful. I love what I do.
No, it's amazing. And I think with the sales copy for our like offers here, right, as part of the brand, I think the exciting thing is the opportunity to impact a lot more people. Because I think with the right sales letters, and as you get eyeballs to that, and it will drive sales. And I know it's not about like the dollar signs, but it is about, if you have more money coming in, you can reinvest that into more product. You can do more outreach. You can, you get more people, you can repair more smiles, right? And so I think that's what's so exciting and cool. I think this is gonna be a big, I'm looking forward to you taking another really big leap here. You've already done incredible things, but it's exciting to see it continue to go on.
Thank you. No, you're right. That's a good point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting.
It is exciting. Go ahead.
I really wanted to do this. I'm just saying, like, in the past, they would have, people, this is the leap I wanted to take. I mean, I just, it's not really a leap. I mean, this is fun. This is exciting. And it's just, there's nothing I feel, this is my life. The life really is that clay mask. It spurred so many awesome feelings and reactions and purpose. And it's time to, and it's the product really, I mean, when you see those best masks of 2020, and I'm sure that's a lot of PR based stuff and meetings with, direct meetings with the publications. But I mean, wait till people find out about this thing. It will be, I mean, Stefan, we talked about it, and I really mean this. I mean, I think it is up there with like one of those cult following products, as far as like one of the best products ever made, best skincare products ever made. And it's all natural, food grade. You can pour water in it and drink it.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about, so let's talk about the at-home facial, and like that obviously that's like a system. There's like 3 products in it, right? Um, but will you walk us through the 3 products that are in that, and kind of like the an overview of like, who's it for, like why are they, what are some of the benefits they can expect to experience from using it, everything there. And then real quick before you do that, for all the writers on the call here, and by the way, thanks, I love that you guys are on here, and hopefully you're getting as many like gems out of this conversation of Andy as I am, because I'm just sitting here like, Andy, you've dropped so many lines where I'm like, oh my God, that you're writing the copy, for everybody in a bunch of places. And I would like, if you guys can type yeah into the chat if you guys are getting value from this, and if you're kind of like, if this is your ideas are percolating. Yeah, there we go.
Well, I hope.
Yeah, you can see it coming through here. Yeah, hell yeah, definitely. I've got like 8 pages of notes. Hell yeah, so valuable. Definitely. Hell yeah, too many notes.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a waterfall of gold, says Jazz Courtney. Yeah, that's awesome. But cool. Yeah, because so everyone on this call, because like obviously we've talked about more about the clay mask, but everything up to that, it's like the story, like the origin story, right? Like who is Andy, and what was he driven by, and what changed his life, and why is he passionate? Like that's all applicable to both sides. And we've talked about the mask, but that's where now I think we'll move over to like the at-home facial, and you can walk through that. And I think from there, we'll have a pretty complete picture for everybody, for them to be able to get started on the project.
Sure. So we talked about doing this in the fall, and then with just making a bundle of our Pearl Cleanser. So the whole idea is to cleanse and then rinse and then follow with our instrument, which is a titanium microneedle Derma Roller. And so it's becoming popular now to open up the epidermal layer of the skin to just as a pathway for optimal absorption of the clay mask. Not only that, but also say if you wanted to follow with a gold serum or night cream, but it's an instrument that's really, it's blowing up, and it's because it's effective. As long as you're using really good pharmaceutical grade titanium, not plastic, or steel's okay, I guess, but it's a little thicker. But yeah, so as long as you're using really good pharmaceutical grade titanium microneedles, it's a flat out game changer from a skincare perspective, as far as just creating these small little micro tears. If you hear about these vampire facials that are becoming so popular, it's because you're creating little micro wounds to signal to your body to create a thicker collagen layer, but also you're getting maximum absorption of the products you put on after it. I had used one that was given to me in that area, right where I had a lot of scar tissue, just to help with absorption, to get a lot of blood flow, and also in that spot treat that target area. But it never occurred to me to get this on the store, because I couldn't really find a good source, and luckily we did for our Derma Roller. So the whole idea to cleanse, Derma Roll, and then follow with our clay mask, let it completely dry, rinse it off, and then follow with our award-winning gold serum. That right there, that treatment, it's insane. It's unbelievable. We were going to go forward with that just an at-home, make smaller amounts of it and just get people to try. They're our most popular products. And then, so hopefully they would come back and buy the full size, or maybe, and now we have the full size as a package. And we may, depending if we want to do our mini facial or full size, I'm sure we can, use a similar copy for that. But that's the exact protocol that, I'm giving to estheticians who are using our products in the back bars and who carry our products retail. A lot of them are using them in the back bars as well, especially the mask. But it's especially after with everything that happened with COVID, a lot of people were missing their spot treatments, and unfortunately, we only got it out. I think we got a few landing pages made, and we had a couple sends, but and it's going very well. It's people are missing their beauty treatments for sure. But it's one of those things where you're using, our pearl powder based cleanser. It has a colloidal silver to eat up the bacteria. We're not using any harsh foaming agents. It could not be better. In my eyes. And a little tremella mushroom, which is a high source of hyaluronic acid, to create a little moisture so you're not overly drying it out. No sodium lauryl sulfate. As I mentioned, colloidal silver is a big bacteria agent right there.
Yeah.
And it just creates this, clarity that's unreal. And so then follow that with the Derma Roller. As I mentioned, that's one of those things. The PubMed studies, it's just, you're flat out, you're creating an area for optimal pathways, but also from a wrinkle standpoint, from releasing congestion. It's one of those things that's an instrument that is flat out effective because you're getting past that initial layer.
Right.
And then the clay mask, that's the third step of the facial, and then finishing with the gold serum. That is, oh man. So this gold serum is 95% certified organic, but the thing that makes it different is it's the best of both worlds. So it has cutting edge science with all the active ingredients: CoQ10, astaxanthin, marine collagen, copper peptide, and plant-derived vitamin A, which is a retinol alternative that we source from France, which is made from organic alfalfa, a high source of vitamin A. And it's just one of those. And then also it's in a base of organic frankincense, organic sandalwood, 95% bottled in maroon glass. Maroon glass is I don't know if anybody is familiar with maroon glass, but it blocks out all artificial light. I'll send out an article, a blog that we did on it. And we source it from the Netherlands. It's just nice. It looks black, and that's why because I couldn't find packaging. And a friend of mine pointed me towards this, and I didn't want to use plastic for my liquid products. So luckily, I found this cool bottle, and then I found out about the benefits. I got to be honest, that's how it worked. But the benefits were, just incredible. And I still have products that I kept from 2015 that are still solid. That I still use, because of their ability to protect the bioactivity of the live cold pressed ingredients, the live enzyme rich ingredients that are in my products. So, and that's very important because, you don't want any light to get through, especially with plastic too. I didn't want anything to taint. You put so much into your ingredients. Last thing you want to do is have bad packaging. So there's, does that make sense as far as just the base of the really good organic botanicals and essential oils, and then following that up in combination with science-based active ingredients? And I wouldn't say like on the synthetic side, as far as like marine collagen and then copper peptide, and that's just one of those things. It's becoming popular now. Matter of fact, there was a cream, GHK-CU is the chemical acronym for it. But it's a lot of people are starting to become aware. So we got to get this thing, at least, get it out, because I've been using copper peptide for a couple of years, a little over 2 years now. So it comes through a lot of research. So these products take it, a lot of people just do a full rollout, right? They have everything made, they do a rollout, so you have everything. I do it one by one because it's all me. I do my formulation. I come up with my ingredient decks, but I work with chemists. And so I work with it's based on my research. And I'm working on my meteorite scrub right now. And that is,
I know that's gonna be the next one I don't go too down. You can't go too deep down that right now, because I do want to be time conscious, because I want to put my daughter down for a nap in a few. But I will talk about more too. We'll talk about more later. There will be, and that's the cool thing for the writers on here, and whoever, if we can hit a home run for this, there's gonna be lots of additional opportunities to work with Andy on more stuff, including that meteorite scrub, which is, sounds so sick. But two questions I had, and then I'm gonna open it up for other questions from the writers. So for the one, the clay mask, and those who are writing something for, specifically the clay mask, as far as like quantities go, like packages, right? Is that something where, people can buy like 1, 3, or 6 type thing, right? You can get 6 of the clay mask, and does it make sense for them to do that? Or how do you normally like sell that? I don't think I went to the checkout page and actually looked at the quantity selection. I went to the page you sent me. So for that one, and then also for the at-home facial, like because it's a multi-step process, right? Is it just, I'm guessing that's just one single bundle, like buy the bundle, and it doesn't make sense to sell because sometimes with a supplement, right? If I'm selling turmeric, I'm like, hey, get 6 bottles and save money. And it makes sense, right? You're like, okay, well, and I do that myself when I buy my supplements, because then if something happens, like even during COVID, I have my own regimen I take, right? And I'm like, I was like totally good because I've stocked up on all the stuff that I love. And then a bunch of that stuff became hard to find because of, when the shutdown happened. So I think that's valuable, but generally, with a kit, with at-home facial, I'm guessing it's like, get this kit and that's it. Sorry. And then, but yeah, with the clay mask, I'm curious about the quantities and everything too.
Right. So with the clay mask, we have a 2-ounce clay mask, and we have the 8-ounce jar, which is 7.1 ounce product. So that the 2 ounce is to get people to get, maybe try it a few times, and then get an idea, and then maybe come back and order the larger size that it has around 13 to 15 facials. It just comes down to, I use a tablespoon, or I recommend using a tablespoon for that. And they're about 14 tablespoons in there, but sometimes people use a less amount. So that's one thing that maybe rather than ounces, I think we come down to facials or servings. We come down to, say, if it's, we come 10 to 15, we give them that idea. This 15 facials, get this package for $175, but maybe we bring it down a little bit, and a spa level quality facial out of the comfort of your own home for $10. Who wouldn't do that? It's the exact same thing that I can point out a dozen med spas in California that are doing the exact same thing. So, just pointing out that, and then really showing the difference of an average facial and then what we're giving them here with better ingredients. They don't have to leave the house, and it's, absolute fraction of the cost. And then backing it up with the testimonials, and then the reviews, and then the story behind it. This is going to do.
No, that's awesome. And then for the clay mask, that one's the 2 or the 8, right? And then that home set that's just the 1 set, right? Sorry, let's make sure I got it right.
Yeah. So we have like I don't want to say mini, we have a larger of all the large sizes of Derma Roller, large size, 100 ml.
Okay, so for the whole packet. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So full size of, so basically it comes down to, what we want to say is you're getting 15 facials here, maybe 12 to 15, something like that. Maybe we should do. Right. And then for, with everything full size, you're getting this and then we go through the whole process. Maybe throw in a night cream to seal in the results, on an order bump or something like that. But that's something else that we can do. But that's, you're going to get 12 to 15 from the large jar. And then, we just need to come up with, we say 3 to 5 on the smaller 2-ounce jar, which it can be. Some people just do a couple teaspoons. But then the whole idea is using it, like you said. That would, especially with our shelf life stuff, that would work. If you're going to stock up and you're going to fall in love with this thing, to save money, that would make sense, because the shelf life, is 18 months. Right. So you can, that would be one of those things where, you get on a routine. The more you use it, the more effective it is, period. Right. So if you're using it 2 to 3 times a week, you can get on that. That's one of those things that's, I just didn't know anything about subscription model or auto ship at the time when I was coming up. I just wanted to give people value. I was packing a pint, 16 ounces, with that 12 to 14. I was like, here, guys. So, I didn't know anything. So I cut it in half, and I still that's huge. Nobody uses that much. So that's why we made the 2-ounce size. And I just want to give people, as much as I can. So.
No, 100%. And for the writers on the call, I would say for you guys, if it were me, I would generally be trying to sell people on the larger package, but they'll be able to see both options, right, on like the page, and you can select the small one or the big one. But I like to focus on the larger order values and to be able to get people more of the product. And it's such a good product that I think anyone who uses it is going to want to get more of it anyway. So if you're trying to sell, because a trick from copywriting that I use, and I've shared this with other people before, is anything I'm selling, I take whatever the price is, and I add another 0 to it, right? So I'm selling like a $97 product, I pretend it's $970, because if I do that, I'm gonna just sell it harder when I'm writing copy and talking, right? It puts the bar higher, and it makes you try to sell it harder. So going back to like having the small kind of like sample size and the full size, just the writers, everyone on the call, I would just recommend you guys focus on the larger packages, and they'll still have the option. The consumer can see both, but I'd rather have in the consumer's head, and I'd rather you focus on that, because I think that, that's the bigger win. So just wanted to share that too. Cool. So at this point here, I'm going to open it up to, to questions. If you guys have questions for now, let's pop them in the chat, and then I'll kind of read them out to Andy. And then if you want to, if you want to interface with people or have actual back and forth, we can do that. But let's start off just maybe in the chat. If anybody has questions at all, we'll give maybe like 5 to 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Good question. Yeah.
On demos of target customer. Yes. And then, so we have an avatar of our customer that I can send out to everyone here. 35, 55, 65, 35, 70, 30 of women to men. So we're not exactly right down the middle, but definitely unisex. So just with that kind of goes to Equinox, Active, shops at Air One, Whole Foods, likes the finer things, but also is very aware of what they put into and onto their body. It's an expensive product, I know, but a lot of people are realizing that just the damage that can happen with commonly that you're doing to yourself, that from just the Neutrogenas, the cheaper products. There's a reason they're so cheap, and you don't want to damage, you're just going to be your largest organ. You don't want to damage your vital endocrine system, your hormones. I mean, these are things down the road that it can lead to inflammation, disease, and just, horrible things. So, it's just, hopefully that answers the question on the target customer.
Yeah. If you could send out what you guys have too for that avatar thing, that'd be great.
Okay. What age group do you see using? Oh man. Hey, Rachel, let's see. What age group? I would say, I really want it. Because my brother, was a big proactive guy, and it's just, I don't believe in those. I feel like this can get, when you're growing into your body at that just impressionable age, I feel I really want to get on the teen market. Obviously I can't control what they're eating, and hormones play a big part of that, but I'd love to get more involved on the teen market. But we have, as far as age, we're about, 35, 55 is our target, but we have 80-year-olds and 7-year-olds. From people are getting into it. I feel like we can definitely turn that up, because it's such a social media friendly thing. You see your families doing it together, couples doing it together. It could be one of those things where people are getting excited to do it. I know I am. If I can, and then another side note, especially being an athlete, like or an ex-baseball player, I would demo at spring training facilities in Arizona, Florida, and just a lot of these guys, we can get athletes, UFC fighters who are interested. Believe me, they want to look good. They want to feel good. You're going to feel, better about, just going to work, and just, your post-game interviews. They may, they're a little hesitant, but they always come back and walk by and check out the skincare booths, and it's just fun. Because so if we can, basically what I'm saying is, if we can, convince people to, athletes and stuff like that, I'm sure there's just no limit. Everybody who would use it. Let me see. Is getting rid of acne scars a big target market? Absolutely. Let me see. I can't. Yes, absolutely. How much product sold estimated when first launched on Bulletproof? What is the sales volume of the company since then to now? Trying to think what I can say for that. We did 2.2 million last year. My goal is 5 for this year, but if we get, it's just 2, we're a very small staff company. I'm looking to hire more people, but there's no limit to what we can do. I really want to take this thing as far as we can go. So hopefully, John, that answers your question as far as how much product sold on estimated on Bulletproof. I think we did $100,000 just from Bulletproof and then we launched in June. So, from June with one product to that year. So it was halfway through that year. I think we did 120,000 Bulletproof. And that was 2014, so June. Are there any comparable competitors with all natural clays? No. Yeah, not with 4 clays. That's another thing. Nobody uses raw soil. Nobody uses 4. They'll split it up. They'll make 4 different products out of that, but they won't make one home run, especially with the different the different ingredients that I have. Pearl, colostrum, vitamin C, 10% non-GMO L-ascorbic vitamin C. I mean, there's everything in there has an absolute purpose. That's why I bring up like the U2 or Coldplay album, like the ones that didn't make the list, they're still pretty good, but I mean, the ones that made it, those are the home runs. So everything is serving a purpose in there for sure. And it's really, I mean, that's the goal here, is to start making, reaching a lot of people, because I mean, there's nobody will go to the extent that we do. Or they haven't yet, or I haven't seen them. Let's see. I spoke to my sister when I was doing the application. She's 17 and uses anti-wrinkle products because she says.
I'm going to answer the second half of that question about the 195 collection, because actually I'm looking through the cart stuff again, so I want to confirm. But I'll let you answer. Did you have a question? Yeah, it was more of a statement, right, on that first part?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, here's what I think we should do on the clay mask, because I know I look at the one ClickFunnels page you shared, and it's like you can buy 1 or you can buy 2. I'd love to do, if you're okay with it, for the clay mask, because that one, I think it's the 15 spa quality things, and then for 2 you say 30 spa quality treatments. I think we maybe do, like, if you're okay with like a 136, so it'll just be like I mentioned before, so it's like you can get 15, 45, or 90, right, spa quality treatments. So I think we can create a package like that for those who are just selling the clay mask. And then for the at-home facial, which I have back up here, for that one, because you've got the gold serum clay mask as one option. You guys can still hear me okay, right? My audio is being a little weird, but you guys can hear me okay? Okay. And you've got the kit with the Pearl Cleanser and the Derma Roller, and free shipping for $10 more, which is, I think, really good. And then you've got the and that one's got the 2-ounce clay mask, and you've got the version with the 7-ounce for $195. So if it were me writing the copy for this, I would focus on. I'm trying to think of how I would do this. Let me think about it here. I would probably focus on the middle package, actually, the $99 package. But then I would talk about, if you want to like upgrade, and like the clay mask is the most popular thing, and like it's like the incredible story, everything we've learned about in today's call, you can do that, and you're getting a great deal. Here's what the math works out to. I think that's the way I would do it, and we can still have those 3 options like you have on the current page. We're talking about the at-home facial one. I'll pop it in here.
In subscription model too is something we would like to get, because we want to increase our subscriber list, and then it's possible. I'm just throwing this out there, but if we just encouraged, free shipping, because we may add shipping on the site. As far as in our switch over to Shopify from WordPress, so like we may add that. So just guaranteeing, maybe giving them a 15% coupon or 50% off the 59, and then also free shipping, and then just getting them auto ship, maybe 1, 2, 3 months, something like that, where they could customize it in and add certain things in, because we're going to add software to our site where you can kind of customize your subscription every month, add certain things in it. Does that make sense?
It does. I would do that mostly on the checkout page. I wouldn't talk about it too much in the copy, but I think on the checkout page, we have your offer bump now, where it's like subscribe and save. Yes, I want to get like a, replenished every month or whatever it is. And like, cancel anytime, nothing shady. So I would do it there. So I think for the copy, I wouldn't have them talk too much about the subscription. But yeah.
That makes sense.
Awesome. Okay. So I know, yeah. Let's do like 1 or 2 more questions. Then I got to go to put my daughter down for her nap and be.
Is there a hero ingredient to focus on? Oh man. Yeah. So it's tough. So with the clay mask, I would go pearl powder. For that. Maybe the vitamin C, maybe the green desert clay. It's tough. But yeah, pearl powder. That's probably the most attractive one. Pearl. The geishas have been using it for centuries. You could probably hone in on that. But man, it's tough because they're all very healthy. Organic kelp powder as well. For that on facial kits, possibly. Yes. So the 2000 is for, we don't have 2000 reviews on that exact same facial. Now that's one of those things where we should probably iron out beforehand. They're 2005 star reviews on our total products, but not on that exact package. So if that makes sense. So we should tighten that up. But I can definitely get the reviews and testimonials to you, Abby. And Rachel, yes, yep. Store, okay. I know the subscription landing page for the clay mask, okay. Can you share your favorite client story? And how did you? Okay, yeah, of course.
Hey, Andy, before you start, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mute myself and turn off my camera so I can do my dad stuff. I'm gonna let you share this story, and then guys, I want you to be respectful of Andy's time. So after that, you can just kind of wrap up the call, and because I want everyone to get as much as needed. I know you'll have to talk about this, but I also don't want to take up too much of your time. So if that's okay with you, I'll let you kind of answer this one, and then you can kind of say, wrap it up, and then she just ran to the door. So and I'll let you guys kind of all, kind of end the call after that. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah. No. I'm trying to find this this photo right now. So basically,
okay.
Did you want me to wait for you?
No, you just go ahead and do it. I'm gonna leave. So after you're done, you can just sort of with this question. I mean, if you want to answer any others, you can. But then you can just you guys can all sort of wrap it up. I'm gonna let you guys kind of after this one, everyone can just kind of end the Zoom call basically.
Cool.
All right.
So yes, who asked that? Let me see here, John. Yeah. So 2017, I'm at Upgrade Labs, which is Bulletproof's kind of like their little anti-aging health spot where they have a lot of the latest and greatest technology in the anti-aging space, and they carry our products. It started through Dave Asprey, but then it went from Bulletproof Labs to Upgrade Labs when they sold off. So they did this Meet the Hacker night where I went and spoke to. I got that on tape actually. So I spoke to about 30 or 40 people in the biohacking space, and then this girl comes over to me afterwards in just workout shorts, no makeup, worst skin I've ever seen, but so confident though. But like it was just but which is really, it was so cool. She was just like, I need help. What do I do? Like, I need to use your products. What would you do? What should I do? Like, I need help. Like, her name's Olivia Rosal. And wait till you see her transformation. I mean, she is just, it's like it's so, like I said, the worst case I've ever seen, to just an absolute energetic ball of just positivity. She's just, I want her, she's working for Alitura. I'm getting chills right now. I don't see that, but like, yeah, she's going to be working for Alitura. I'm hiring her this week. She's, I was, the only reason she hasn't is just because I'm trying to figure out where to use it. But someone like that, a sounding board for your company, regardless of the before and after, but I mean, I'll let her do the talking on that one. I've seen that result. I mean, it was just the most beautiful thing that I've seen, but that's just one. Oh man, I'm sure we have so many more. I mean, they're going to come to me, I know, and I'm going to probably be emailing you guys in the middle of the night. But yeah, it's just, then, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, John. I mean, that truly is my why. I mean, it's just, that's a big piece of me that I hope you guys will get to know on our conversations, is that I'm just a very sensitive individual, and I really want to, if somebody's going through something like that, it just breaks my heart to think of someone, it's down and out. And I just really, really want to do everything I can to help people get away from that. It's the most beautiful thing ever because it just, especially nowadays, you never really know if people care, I don't know. But I mean, it's just, it's so beautiful when you show people that you do, and then you give them a profound result to their life that is just, they'll never forget. It's just, that's why I do. That truly is why I do this. And that's why I love this industry, because we have a chance to do that pretty often, So, yeah. Any other questions, guys, or me see here. Sounds amazing. Thank you, Rachel. Man, I'm just really excited, and I really appreciate you all, you know, wanting to work with me. This is my life. It's what I eat, breathe, and sleep, and it's you know, I'm very excited to work with all of you. So again, my name's Andy, and if you have any questions, I believe you have my email address, and I am pretty busy, but this is like a huge, this is very important to me. So I'll do my best to get everybody everything that they need. And this is thank you. Yeah. And yeah, this is going to be great, because I really feel like we have something a lot different than other brands are willing to do. And we go to different lengths, and I know what I do and why I do it. So, all right, guys, I'll let you get to it. And it was really nice to meet you. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. See you.